Hey guys, what's up? This is Raj H, the author of the My Wi-Fi Office Lifestyle blog, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about my blog and some changes I've decided to make, as well as some other things. But I just want to get on here with you today and share a little bit about something that's not really related to like my blog. Technically, like, it's not actually directly related to my blog or to online marketing, but it is definitely indirectly related, and it's actually, if you think about it in the right way, it is directly related. Excuse my dogs, man, they just bark for any kind of noise they hear. And please excuse the sweat and you know, me glistening. I know it's disgusting, but I always got like a 15-minute to 20-minute cool down after I work out, because it's just like I was so out of shape, and I'm still out of shape, but I'm starting to get back into shape. But it's like my body just needs that 20 minutes to just catch its breath, because I'm a smoker, and I know that's bad, but I'm trying to quit. But in the meantime, I'm just not gonna not work out because I smoke, right? So it's like my lungs and everything, and my blood, my brain needs to get blood back to it, so it takes me a couple minutes. So since I got that 20 minutes just trying to get back into, a normal, the normal groove of things, I decided to make I usually make videos right after that, because it gives, something to do for that 20 minutes. So anyways, first thing I wanted to share with you is that I'm going to be changing the name of my blog from My Wi-Fi Office Lifestyle to just My Wi-Fi Lifestyle. I decided that, it's funny because I already got domain names and everything under that name, My Wi-Fi Office Lifestyle, but I'm just going to change it to My Wi-Fi Lifestyle. I think that it pretty much entails everything that I want to say about, who I am, what I'm doing, and it's easier to say because I stumble over My Wi-Fi Office Lifestyle every time I try to say it. And I was considering shortening it to an acronym of WAL, WAL, Wi-Fi Office Lifestyle, but that just sounds stupid. I mean, and I was like making jokes like, I'm gonna post, hey guys, I'm gonna post something on my wall, like my Facebook wall, but my blog wall, yeah, it's lame, I know, and that's because there's not much blood going to my brain right now, so you can excuse the lame joke. So anyways, what it is that what I want to talk about today. So yeah, I'm changing the name. So just so you know, what I want to talk about today, guys, is something that's not directly related to, as I said, online marketing, or the things I talk about in my blog, which is travel, food, and culture, and those experiences, and how I'm able to have those experiences. But more so, something indirectly related, but as I said, it can be directly related depending on how you think of it. I personally believe it's absolutely directly related to it. But for the purpose of how you might have found this video, I want you to know that there's not going to be today any and on this I might make another one today showing you some more some tips and tricks and techniques for online marketing, but right now this is just purely unrelated to that. So here it goes. I've had in my lifetime, if any of you have watched any of my former videos, I partied for most of my 20s. From 18 to 28, I was pretty much a party animal, partied all over the world. And I'm not saying these things to brag in any way. I'm just, it's just the reality of it. I've met people who've done way more than I've done. I've been very privileged in life, and probably that's a lot of my problem of why it's taking me so long in life to actually get somewhere and get started in something, because I just had everything handed to me. And so, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. If you use it in the right way, you can really go places. But if you use it in the wrong way and you become a spoiled brat, it can really ruin your life if you let it. So I did all that kind of stuff, and if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that. But the point is that I've been in and out of different rehabs. I've been I think at a grand total of 6 or 7 rehabs. I mean, I've lost count, but rehabs never helped me. AA, NA never helped me. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't consider myself like an alcoholic. If you meet them, and if you're an alcoholic watching this, please do not take any offense to this. Whatever works for you, that's great. Everyone has to use what works for them, and it's just that AA didn't work for me. For me personally, I didn't like calling myself an alcoholic when I wasn't participating in alcoholic behavior. And they have their own reason for doing that, and that's totally fine. And if that works for them, that's awesome. And I totally salute that. You got to do what works for you. It just didn't work for me. My mind is very powerful, and when I keep suggesting something like that to me, when I keep suggesting it to my mind, I always think about that. Hey, sorry about that. When I keep suggesting something like that to my mind, even when I'm not doing those things, then it's always on my mind, and I don't like that. I mean, I feel like if I take that energy and put it into something positive and focus on something positive, then I don't have to worry about thinking that I have alcoholic tendencies or whatever. I can just do what I want. So I still have an occasional drink. Right now I'm not drinking. I've just made a decision not to drink for a while. But I mean, I do have an occasional drink. And when I drink, yes, I get drunk. I don't feel that there's a point of drinking if you're not going to catch a buzz, you know. But and you know, a lot of people who were in my position but have totally sobered up will tell you that they do it. They don't believe that. They believe you should, if you. That's the problem with us. We can't just have one. Yeah, I can't just have one. I want to have 5 or 6. I want to get a 6-pack and watch a game. If I'm on vacation, I want to get tipsy. I think that's the whole point, you know. So that's why I just don't drink much anymore. If I drink, then it's going to be only like as I once heard someone tell me, you know, you don't drink to feel better, drink to feel even better. Meaning, don't drink when you got problems, when you're drinking to cover up stress or not cope with reality. Only drink when everything in your life is okay, and then you just want to celebrate, you know, basically. So that's basically the point of that. So I'm gonna, so basically what I was getting at, I'm sorry, I always get sidetracked when I'm talking. So the point is that when I was in all these rehabs and stuff, I noticed one common denominator that always worked for me is that whenever I was in rehabs, I'd be on like a very disciplined and you know, you'd be on a schedule, you'd be on a disciplined schedule, you'd have some structure, and man, when I was in that environment, like, you know, I would flourish, dude. I would flourish. I mean, honestly, when someone put some guidelines that I just had to follow, I would do really well, man. And I can tell you some of the crazy accomplishments that goes on when I'm in a rehab environment or that kind of structured environment. And you know, mostly whenever I went into rehab, I was always like 245, 250 pounds. I would just in my using lifestyle and in my partying lifestyle, I would just, you know, when I wasn't using, I would eat like a pig, dude. And I used to smoke a lot of, you know, Mary J, and that stuff gives you the munchies, just to eat like a cow, dude. And just constantly munching, and I get fat. But I get into rehab, man, and within months, I'm telling you, miraculous body changes. I would get ultra focused on going to the gym every morning, doing going in the evening, eating like low carb, you know, high fiber diet with, you know, a lot of salad and fruit and, you know, very little bit of meat, very little. I mean, I would eat meat, but I would eat like, this happened in Costa Rica when I was living in San Jose. Man, I went in there 250. I came out at 178, and that was all muscle and toned, you know, very little body fat. But I worked for it, and it took me 2 months to get that way. For the first 2 months of being there, I was down to about 185, and then by the time I left, I was like 178. And I know it's hard to believe, but I got witnesses to prove that. Oh man, that sun is. I hope that's not making it look hard for you to see me. Sun just came out, so. Yeah, so the point here is that, and that's happened in multiple rehabs, and I'm not going to go through each and every story, but, you know, and not only that, I would get focused on what I wanted to do. I would be working towards something. As soon as I get out, you know, because the things in rehab is, I knew in the back of my mind, I didn't really believe that I had a problem and that I needed to be there. I just went there to placate my mother, you know, and that's the horrible reason to go. Don't ever change anything in your life, whether it be an addiction, and let me tell you something, you can be an addict of anything. You don't have to be an addict of drugs or alcohol. You can be an addict of gambling, you can be an addict of work, you can be an addict of exercise, you can be an addict of food. Anything that you do so much that it disrupts other areas of your life where you're not taking care of responsibilities in other areas of your life, that can be considered addict behavior. I've seen workaholics who just completely ignore their family, even their own health and everything, just to do better at work. I've seen health freaks that just, they're so into health that they don't think about nothing else. All they ever do is work out. They work out to the point where it's almost unhealthy, you know. And, you know, they eat to the point where it's like fanatical, like the way their healthy eating is like fanatical, and it's almost like, to me, I don't even see how that'd be enjoyable. So you can be an addict of anything. So, you know, I didn't believe I had any addictive problems or addictive tendencies, and I just would do it to placate my mom. And like I said, don't ever do anything to placate anyone, because that is going to be the worst outcome. Because when you're doing something to make someone else happy, you're going to be miserable. My rule of thumb is, the first part, you don't, I mean, and this might sound selfish at first, but think about it. Always do what's best for you first. Do whatever you're going to do, make sure you take care of you first. Always you. You know why? Because if you are happy and taken care of, then you naturally will make the other people around you happy, the other people you love, your friends, your family, co-workers, whoever it may be. You know, you'll naturally make them, you'll naturally go out, you know, it'll naturally happen that you make them happy. But if you cannot be happy, if you just forego your own happiness to make them happy for something that you really don't want to do, you're going to be miserable, and eventually it's going to build up inside you, and you're going to either explode or you're going to break down or something. So let me tell you, it's just not the proper way, and that's why I never could get cleaned up. I just thought I'll do this for a while to keep my mom quiet, and then when I get out, I just used to party again. I used to drop everything, lose all my scheduled behavior, my discipline, you know, my structure, you know, just would go down the drain. So, and I thought that was only and I thought to myself, all these other people are living their lives, they don't have these problems, and they don't live that structured life like I was living in rehab. But it turns out most of the successful ones do. Imagine that, right? Everybody in life that you see who's doing something that you wish you could be doing or has the money you wish you could have, they live that almost exact identical lifestyle I was living when I was in rehab. I mean, they weren't doing it because they weren't doing it for the same reasons I'm doing it. They were just doing it to be successful. They lived a structured lifestyle. They had everything planned out from the morning when they woke up. They knew what they were going to do. They had, you know, if they had an exercise routine, they went there at the exact time they're supposed to. If they had something they were working on, they worked on it at the exact same time every day for the exact same amount of hours. You know, if they had whatever commitments they had, they did it. They had like daily commitments. They did it every day without fail. Excuse the sweat. And that is something that really shocked me when I started studying. You know, I thought that, you know, people like Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Edison and Nikolai Tesla and Albert Einstein, they all just lived really, you know, they just had this gift, and they just, you know, they gave it to the world, and that was it. It was just, they didn't have to put any effort. Bull crap, man. Those guys worked their butts off to give us what they gave us, to help it, to give society what they gave society. They worked for it. You know, to be the people they were, they worked for it. And so here's the big point. I don't want to drag this on much longer. I realize now that for me, the reason why a lot of my endeavors have failed, and I think I mentioned this a little bit in my first video, is the common denominator in all of the things I tried was me. I was just trying, first of all, I was trying to make those things work for the wrong reasons, purely money, and that's never a reason. Let me tell you, that's never a healthy reason to get into anything. If you're just trying to make money, eventually that's gonna get tired eventually, and it's gonna make for an unhealthy lifestyle. And an unhealthy frame of mind and emotions. You're going to be emotionally unhealthy too if all you ever do is work for money. And if you want a good book on that, read Stephen R. Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Great book, and he kind of explains like the different things that you can focus on that motivates you that really are unhealthy, and money is one of them. If you have a money-centered lifestyle, it's just not going to work out for you, brother. You're not going to be happy, or sister, if you're your sister watching. So. You know, what I come to find is that you got to when I decide, and oh yeah, sorry, I always get sidetracked when I go on these little tangents, and I do apologize. But here the point is that the problem with all those things why it didn't work was me. Even though I wasn't partying anymore, you know, like I said, I had the occasional drink, or I go party. I'll party like on New Year's or something, you know. Or when I go on a really extravagant vacation, which I do go on quite a few vacations. So I mean, I have a good time when I go on vacation, you know. I mean, but apart from that, I was just living a normal daily routine, but my routine was very lame. I didn't really do much. I didn't have a real structured idea what I would do each day. I just knew that I wasn't going to party anymore, but I didn't have any goals in place, any long-term goals, any short-term goals. I didn't have any daily commitments I was really trying to follow. So really nothing was coming together for me. So let me tell you the secret for any of you out there watching this. What worked for me, and I'm sure it can work for you, because I'm not saying this is going to work for you because it worked for me. I'm saying this is going to work for you because it's worked for hundreds, maybe thousands of the greatest people in our society from you know, thousands of years ago till now. You need to start getting yourself into a structured, disciplined routine, and the part of that is sitting down, writing out your goals. Sit down and write out a very detailed goal of what you want to have in the next year. If you want money, and if it's exactly money you want, write exactly how much money you're going to have in your bank account. Write it out, say it out loud, and read it daily. Right? I'm going to have $10,000 in my bank account by December the 22nd, 2014, by doing so and so. And you have to see, to get money, you have to give something to receive it. So you've got to write out what you're going to give in order to receive. What are you going to give? Are you going to give your time towards studying real estate? Are you going to give your time towards doing online marketing? Are you going to give your time towards whatever it might be, being being the best salesman at your car dealership, whatever it might be? Okay, you get the point. Write it out in detail. That way you have a goal to work towards, and you need to read it daily. You need to type it out or write it out, pin it somewhere in the morning, first thing when you get up. Read that sucker. Read it before you go to bed. I've heard of some people going as far as, and I did this, so I'm some people. When I was in my other network marketing company, I wrote out 5 goals I want to achieve in the next 6 months, and I wrote them and typed them out, printed like 20 copies, and pasted it all over the house. But you know what? I just never read them. I just became. Have you ever heard of banner blindness in internet marketing? When people like they've gotten so used to seeing those advertising banners that they just don't notice them anymore. Same thing. I just didn't notice them, but that was because I didn't really have a desire. There was no true desire within me. You know, it was just like I was doing this thing. Okay, they said to do this, it'll work, but there was no true desire in me, so I wasn't going out of my way to read those every day. But now I'm doing that. I've got into a routine, and that's what I'm saying. You need to do this. Get into a routine where you decide that you're going to etch out your goals very detailed and clearly. Read them out loud in the morning, at night. This works wonders. You don't know how powerful when you suggest things like this to your mind. You don't know how powerful it is. Especially once it starts brewing in the subconscious pot down there, starts, you know, boiling and rumbling and tumbling down there. It really starts working on you, and you won't even know it in your sleep. You'll start getting ideas to how to change your life for the better and how to do things in a way that's going to be more efficient and more productive for you. So that's 1. 2. This is something that I was taught by my mentor, and I'm giving this to you. Even though if you ever join up with what I'm doing, or you get into if you get into my program and start making money with me, he's going to tell you the first thing. You got to do a 30-30-30 challenge, and I've heard this before him, but I mean I never followed it, but I've been following it to the T. You need to read a minimum of 15 to 30 minutes of any kind of self-help book, any kind of self-improvement. Whether it doesn't have to necessarily be a self-help book. If you're not into those, read biographies of great people or autobiographies of great people. Read about Abraham Lincoln. Read about Benjamin Franklin. Read about Thomas Edison. Read about anything that can help you unlock your inner genius. When you read about what these people did, it first of all makes you understand that it puts you in touch with the fact that these people didn't just get to where they were like because of some special gift or that they're better than us. They worked their butts off. They were just as normal as we were. They just had a different type of drive than most of us do. So read 30 minutes a day of something that where you can gain some actual knowledge about improving your life, and usually that's either a self-help book, you know, something like Anthony Robbins or you know, Stephen R. Covey, or there's so many out there, Napoleon Hill, or read something like biographies, autobiographies of great people. I'm telling you, it'll start to change your life. If you do this every day for 30 days, you'll want to keep doing it. The point is not to just do it for 30 days, but we call it a 30-day challenge because you can do it for 30 days and you start to get into habit, and when you start to see the benefits it has, you'll just continue to do it on your own. The other thing you need to do for 30 minutes a day is listen to an audio. Get some audio of, let's say if you're in real estate, get some real estate audios of people who are in real estate who've made like audio audio podcasts or audio lessons that they just talk for, you know, or maybe they recorded their coaching calls and they're selling them. Get those audios and listen to them for 30 minutes a day if you're into real estate. If you're into online marketing and your company has those, get them. If your company doesn't, my company does. I can show you how to get those, and I will. After the end of this video, as always, just click on one of the thing that I post at the bottom, or click on one of the banners on my page, and we have a whole thing called the Inner Circle where you can listen to audios on online marketing and network marketing from 2 guys that really honestly have this business under lock and key. They got this down pat. They know all the ins and outs, and you can get just colossal information from them. Really, it'll change your life. 30 minutes a day of a self-help book, 30 minute, or like a self-improvement book, or you know, a book on someone who's, you know, somebody's life who's been great and someone who's been historically great, and 30 minutes of an audio, something in the field that you're doing that's going to help you improve in it, or just a self-help audio. Right now I'm listening to Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. I downloaded the audiobook and I'm listening to that 30 minutes a night before I sleep. Do those 2 things and you will see a change in your life. I'm telling you. And just stay disciplined to it, and then write those goals down and talk and just state them out loud every day, in the morning, at night, and think about them from time to time. Just think about them. You know, think about it clearly in detail, and what it's going to, you know, how the check is going to look when you deposit it in your account. All that. Think of it in detail, because your mind can't tell the difference between a very well thought out scene or picture and reality. It cannot. Your subconscious cannot differentiate. It thinks both are the same thing. So if you think it out real clearly, your mind will start working in such a way to help you get those things. And people think this is a bunch of hooey. It's not. And if you don't believe it, and if you want proof, all the greatest people in history did these kind of things. So just do those things. And also, and back to one thing that I forgot to follow up on. When I was in rehab and I would look at people and say, man, these people, how can everyone else, they don't have addiction problems and stuff and they go about their daily lives. But like I said, none of them are great. They live the regular, most of them are pretty unhappy. They live a regular 9-to-5 lifestyle. They try to convince themselves they're happy because everyone around them is doing the same thing. And so, well, if everyone's doing it, you know, there's safety in numbers. This must be okay. But they're not really happy. A lot of them are suppressing a lot of things they would love to be doing in life. They're really miserable. They want to make more. They want to have more time. And they're never really going to contribute anything of that leaves a lasting impression on history. And when you develop habits like what I'm talking about today, you can. Whatever you're doing in life, whether you're a musician or whether you're an accountant or whether you're a business owner, small business owner, or an online marketer or a real estate investor, these principles, these habits will improve your ability in those areas tenfold. So just take my advice, and don't think that it's just coming from me. This is coming from, you know, straight from the mouth of the lion, dude. I'm telling you, you gotta check this stuff out. And put it into practice. Just try it for 30 days. If you're not satisfied with it, it doesn't seem to be helping. Either you're not really putting your all into it, or maybe it's just not for you, or maybe you just don't want to do better in anything. Maybe you think you're doing good enough in everything that you're doing, and that's totally fine. You know, and I'm not knocking on that at all. I mean, everyone's got their place in life, and everyone's got their ambition and their goals, and that's totally fine. But for those of you who do want something different, want something more, want to improve on something, want to get better at something, this is what's going to work for you. And like I said, if you need more, and if you want more advice like this on just in self-improvement alone, my mentor's got a lot on that too. And I would welcome you to go ahead and click my links at the bottom of this channel, at the description, or on my blog. It'll be at the bottom. It'll be said, click here button, click that, and you can get in. And he's got a lot of advice. Excuse, I'm sorry about my dogs. He has a lot. Hey! I'm so sorry for that, but sometimes it's the only way to get their attention. He's got a lot of advice that can help you. So anyways, I rambled on a lot longer than I meant to, but I hope that this advice can help you. And then if it does, man, get back to me, man. Let's talk it out. Tell me how it helped you, and maybe we can kind of brainstorm on some of it and see what I can, how I can, and improve my own daily schedule and my daily routine and get better in my life. I'd love to hear from you. All right. Well, for now, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for listening, and see you later. Peace.